Hi, welcome to the Wednesday Night League of Inches podcast. Apparently, I've got to do this now because, look, we've got some breaking news. Joel's actually left us. He's signed a lucrative deal with Fox Sports. We weren't meant to announce it yet, but he signed a massive deal with Fox Sports. He's gone, thinks he's above us now. And look, we'll just leave it at that, won't we, guys? Not much else to say about that. No, not really. Joel's just having...
Good riddance to bad rubbish.
Yeah. Look, we don't need that kind of negativity around. Think people thinking they're above it creates culture problems. Just look at the Parramatta Eels. Anyway, joining me tonight is Jeremy as usual. Is it Mick? Mick down there below, and Jesse comes in off the bench once again. Do you remember when he called you Mick at the start of it? It was fantastic. Said a Micka, yeah. It was Mick. Yeah, it was great. Jesse comes in taking Joel's spot off the bench.
I've forgotten about
that. It's always exciting. Clearly by your action. It's always exciting when Jesse joins us, adds a bit of character to it with these other two boring people. But anyway, we're here, we're ready to go.
I'm making a correlation here between Jesse and another Roosters player. He is a Mr. Fix-It. He's found his way into the Origin team. He's our Connor Watson.
He is.
He's our Mr. Fix-It. He's off the bench, but now he's in the starting
I'll just
spot.
get rid of
Welcome,
this.
Jesse.
I'm not all Connor Watson, though. Only in some places. Only when it comes to the 14, the utility. So that's it. That's where I draw the line.
He doesn't like those fun activities in Bali. That's for sure.
No.
Look, we'll start off in good Joel fashion. We'll go around with our eye-catching moment, both on and off the field for the week. Jesse, you're off the bench, so we'll let you go first.
On the field, probably Hammer's try. Bloody insane. I didn't really watch that much footy this week, unfortunately. I just had heaps of other things going on, new job and all that sort of business. But got a big one, bloody off the field. You boys with children appreciate this. My son's walking.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, so good. He's got his little legs going. He's like holding himself up. He's walking around. Just turned 1. Oh, I love it. So cute.
Good. Watch everything get put to the next shelf now.
Yeah, that's it. Everything has to go up a level. Everything's got to get baby-proof now. PowerPoint's sticking his freaking hands in them. But it's good fun. Yeah, and I think he just watches my daughter. She's 3 and she bloody sprints around the joint. So he's trying to keep up, and it's just hell cute. Bloody love it.
And you'll say that now, but it won't be long till they're wrestling each other in the middle of the kitchen. You don't think it's cute anymore. Yep.
No.
Speaking of that, Michael, you've been through those moments. What caught your eye? Besides, obviously, not Saturday night's game because you probably don't remember it.
I remember it well. What are you talking about? Things that caught my eye off the field, how much everyone loves a good old bus trip. I put 24 people on a bus from Hunter Valley down to Parramatta. We drank for 3 hours on the way down. We drank there and we drank all the way back. It's amazing. I don't think one person had a bad night. What caught my eye on the field? How much everyone disagrees about simple things sometimes. Using the Kelmer tackle as my example. There are so many different opinions on it, and I've just sort of come to realise how often that happens with things that happen in rugby league. So I guess that's why we get to talk so much about the game we love.
Yep, for sure. All right, Jeremy, take us away. Your team was obviously a loser, so it won't be on the field. Same as us, loser mode over here. Jesse's the only winner, but
off the field, we had at school this week a mufti day. So the kids came dressed as their favourite teachers. So that was spectacular, seeing all of those wonderful guys dressed up. A lot of them were as me, so that was a nice little ego boost. Off or on the field, I guess. It was the Knights game. It was the atmosphere. It was the crowd. So a sellout crowd. The sign went up, and the atmosphere was awesome. I did have to do a welfare check with the guy behind me, though, because all game he was giving it to the Knights halves, and rightly so. But at the end of it, I turned around and said, mate, you need to give me 3 positives because I'm worried for your mental health, because he was just so negative, and everyone around us lost their shit because they were also thinking, wow, this guy, he's got a few problems. He was able to give me 1, and it was that we have the bye next week.
2 points.
2 points. 2 points guaranteed. I'm looking at it as a positive as well. Look, what caught my eye on the field was obviously, as Jesse mentioned, the Hammers try. I thought it was incredible. Great individual effort, and in a big moment as well. Like, the Dolphins had their back against the wall after giving up 24 straight points to score that try to win the game was huge. Off the field was getting Michael to taste a bit of road, bit of concrete outside of Combank Stadium. He may have got hip dropped as he left the field. It was great. He decided to run at me and Luke, his mate. I told him to. I knew he was drunk enough to do it. Now, can you paint the picture of Luke? Like, how big's Luke?
He's a fucking giant. You remember like
Yeah,
the big show? Whoa! He's that big. He's huge.
So
And he's got the
I'm-
biggest feet I've ever seen. So you know what that means.
And you thought it was a good idea to run at him.
Well,
Adam
no, he
said-
timed it.
I can't remember how it happened, but Adam said, "Oh, I'll run at us then." So I did.
So
It didn't go well.
he,
He gets scared.
he was drunk. He was drunk and lippy like before we got to the leagues club, right? Now I've had no voice, so I was apparently aggressive because I was yelling at him, but I was just trying to talk. So I gave him a couple of knuckle dusters at the leagues club in front of Mum, and he still wanted to be lippy. So when he gave me a bit
Mum
of goal, I
watched
said,
this.
"You run." Mum, what she's like, I've wanted that for so fucking long, Adam. Anyway, and then when he's walking out the ground, he's telling us to stop, even though I knew where the bus was, because he didn't know where the bus was, even though he was with the bus driver. I said, I'm fucking sick of you, run at me. And Luke's going to join in too. So he's
Well,
seen
good.
Luke. He's done the classic shit. I'm going to run at Adam because Luke's there. I've hit him with a shoulder. Luke's come over the top. Now,
I should have
I've
ran.
thought,
Luke. He's a bit softy.
he is. He's a tall, big, gentle giant. So I thought we've got to be careful how we get him the ground here because Luke's got that look in his eyes like he's going to smash him. So I've
He was
announced to
having-
everyone that was watching, I'm just going to hip drop him. So I've gone with the classic hip drop and taken him to ground. Luke's then come over the top and finished him up with the Reece Walsh. I've protected his head, and he lived to tell another story. It's as simple as that. But
Sorry,
great
time
memory.
off. Yeah, Adam.
Go back 3 players.
it was-
Yeah.
Yeah, look, mate, you gone.
In the
You're
bin.
gone, and it's on report. It's on report.
Tell you what,
How many weeks are you
it
getting?
won't be long until the NRL's going back for 4 days. To be honest, the way they do things, like it'll just be like any relationship. You can get into trouble for things you did weeks ago. Anyway, moving on from that, our first talking point. And I've had to come up with these because, as I said, Joel's completely abandoned this. So my first talking point is, which no one gave me any help with, even though I asked just you. Thanks, guys. What team?
I gave you
outside
one.
the eight-
Thank you.
What was it? Did I put it on there?
The
I
spoon.
don't think I did. Oh, yeah, the spoon. Yeah. What team outside the 8 can make the top 8? Now, I predicted at the start of the year, was one of my bold prediction we did
Have a
prediction
look at the
shows,
ladder.
that South Sydney will make a terrible start to the year and go on a run. We saw Newcastle do it. You traditionally see one team do it a year, but the start of the year is a bit harder for them. Now, for me, South Sydney, I'll just spoil it now. South Sydney is my team, I believe, that are outside the 8 can make the 8. The other one's the Warriors, obviously. They're both capable of going on runs, but I think South have finally found that balance with Latrell back and seeming to be a lot fitter. Whiten at 5'8", Walker at halfback. I think they can actually go on a run. I'll go to you first, Jeremy.
Well, I'm just having a look at it here, and I was going to see if I could get it up so our viewers at home can also enjoy the live ladder. So, having a look at it, if that is available to do, Matt in the background, if you can get that to happen.
Yeah.
Our producer Matt.
By the way,
There
we've
he
got to
is. What a
produce it
good
because
man.
we don't know how
What a
to
good
use
man.
it. Yeah.
Producer Matt is on the ball. So we've got the Broncos. I still think the Broncos are going to make the 8. They've got a few players to return. I don't see them staying out for too much longer. What are you giggling at, mister?
This is the worst question ever. The Broncos are out of the 8. Of course they're going to make the fucking 8.
I'm
I don't think
answering the
I don't-
question. Thank you
Easy.
very much.
Oh, no, I don't
I
think
mean,
they
no,
will.
question.
I think they- I don't
it's not aimed at you. It's aimed at Adam for the question. He obviously didn't look at the ladder before he asked this question.
No, I did because there's another 9 teams outside the 8.
We all like
I'm saying your
low-hanging
team.
fruit, and you've got to pick them too. So I've gone with the Broncos. They're going to make the 8, all right? Put your house
I'm
on
going to
it.
safe bet.
My other one, I am agreeing with Adam here. The Rabbits are playing some really good footy. Haven't really gone into too much depth into their draw, but the way that they're playing, and I think the mindset and the point to prove is there for them as well. So there's a bit more on the line for when it comes to South Sydney Rabbitohs. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are going to make the 8. Adam touched on the Warriors, but they've been full strength at points and haven't kind of iced games either. So not sure about the Warriors. One thing for certain is that the Knights will finish minor premiers and Parramatta will get the spoon.
I think that's the bottom four. Two of the bottom
Valid.
four you just mentioned there with the two down there.
Yeah.
I
Forever
personally
13th.
I don't think the Broncos will make the 8. I think they remind me a lot of Parramatta last year. A lot hasn't gone their way with injuries and stuff. They're essentially playing every week now that they need to win games, and they just haven't consistently been good enough. So I think what happened in the grand final last year has got a bit of a hangover on them. I think the Rabbitohs and the Warriors, and even probably the Dragons, are playing better football than them at the moment and can
They
jump
are.
on top of them, which seems weird to say. Never thought I'd say that. Jesse?
I look at the top 8 and I think about, obviously, like, to make it in the 8, these guys got to drop out. I can only see one team in the top 8 dropping out, and it'd probably be the Raiders. I reckon the Bulldogs this season, if they can keep their defense going, are a top 8 side. I don't see the Finns dropping out, and realistically, I don't see anyone else. Maybe at a stretch, Manly, depending on what happens long term. But the one team that I can see getting in there would be the Broncos. I just think they'll just have to find a way. You know, if they can find a way into the 8 and just pull it out a bit, they've got quality to come back. You know, like, again, it's just Reynolds and Walsh, but that's pretty much their entire strike force there. So I think when they are back, and Walsh shouldn't be far away, and I don't know how far away Reynolds is, but they're valid. I don't think the Rabbits did it soon enough to make it. I think if they got their run sorted a little earlier, they could probably have a bit of a push, but they'd need a lot of results to go their way, and they'd need to win a fair bit to catch up. But outside of that, it's like I don't see the Cowboys getting there. Obviously not the Dargans. The Warriors potentially, but again, like Jez said it, like, they've had their strength for a while. It's just Johnson that's been out, and they haven't really done much with it. So
Just having a look at that, they've still got the Broncos 650.
that's
Look at that
insane.
margin on the side there.
The Tabs are not in the business of losing money, mate. Go where the tab
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then the Warriors at $36, Cowboys at 34. I think the Cowboys at 34 is a bit rich. They should be
rich.
a little bit higher, but yeah, you're making some good points here, Jess.
I didn't even
Um,
notice the betting.
You,
but
you made a non-valid point though, Jess. You said it might be a bit too late. I don't know if Jeremy's actually reminded you, but Newcastle actually won 10 in a row last year to make the finals.
I didn't
From
say
a
it.
similar
Yeah.
position.
I didn't say it.
Yeah. He was
here we
going
go.
to. So, and they ended up finishing fifth, didn't
Alright,
they?
baby.
Was it fifth? They finished fifth overall.
Was it
Before
fifth?
going out in week 2. Yeah, they finished fifth. I'm reasonably sure they really made a run. So,
Do you
anyway,
think
it's not
Rabbits
remind
can
you.
win
So,
10 in
10 in a row will do that for you.
well,
Yeah,
realistically,
exactly,
every team out of the 8, not saying they will, but every team, if they won 10 in a row, would play finals football. So they're all a chance. There's a chance. That's not going to happen, but there's a chance. So anyway, Michael, and keep away from the Broncos, a safe bet.
Titans.
Yeah.
They're on to something special.
10 in a row.
10 in a row.
There's only 2 other teams in that bottom 8 other than the Broncos that I tipped to make my 8, and that's well, at the beginning of the year, the Rabbitohs and the Warriors. I still think the Warriors will win a lot of their games at home. I don't know how many they've got at home left. What are they? They're 3 points ahead of the Rabbits. Be good to see the Rabbitohs go on a massive run. We need one team every year to do it. Like, it just makes things more exciting. Oh, can they make it? They've got to win 8 from 9 or some shit. If I can't go Broncos, I'll go the Warriors will go in. But I still think the Broncos, Warriors, and
Warriors.
maybe South will make it. But who drops out? That's the interesting question.
I've
Raiders.
got Canberra and Manly.
I don't-
Canberra and
Raiders.
Manly.
Yeah,
Potentially
I've still
Raiders.
the Bulldogs.
I've still got Bulldogs, Raiders, and Seagulls dropping out. If
Yep,
the
so
3
I've-
teams I said make them.
The Bulldogs are the best defensive team in the comp. As insane
Yeah,
as
they're-
that is. I just don't see
they've-
how they drop, honestly.
They've struggled to beat. Well, not they've struggled to beat, but when you look at who they've beat a lot of the bottom teams.
They've had a
and
really good
it's-
draw.
It's so close. Like, look, you got from
But
5th
momentum's
to
a funny
11th.
Mm.
Yeah,
Momentum's
is,
a funny
but
thing.
Got a
from
hell of a back line.
From 5th
Yeah.
to 11th is obviously sitting 2 points difference, which is, not a. It's one win. So
Not much,
you drop
Yeah.
2 games in a row, and you could find yourself sitting in 11th. It's as simple as that. Obviously,
Yeah.
depending on how the draw goes. So I guess anyone can possibly drop out, but we'll move away from that. And we'll give Michael the first say. looking at that now, and we'll probably go a bit more towards the top. Thank you, whoever's controlling that, Jeremy, or is it producer Matt? I don't know.
That would be me with producer Matt in the background.
I'll give you the first on this one because you think Brisbane are certainties, Michael. Who's your favourite to win the comp?
Melbourne.
One word answer, Melbourne.
Yeah,
Lovely.
Melbourne. I've said
Love
that
it.
for a while now. Yep.
Jesse?
Penrith. I just think Penrith
One
are
word
too.
answers.
Yeah, it's like, don't elaborate at
We're
all.
doing that as well. We're going the one word. It could be anything
Yeah.
between Storm and Panthers, but I just think fucking Penrith are they're insane. It's just so hard to doubt them. It could be either or, honestly, but I just don't see anyone else besides the two of them.
Got to take the new
Okay.
girlfriend in the factor with Penrith. It'll be a distraction.
Girlfriend,
She's
fiance, mate.
overstayed.
Fiance, is
They
it?
got engaged.
Really?
Yeah, they got engaged.
We think
It's all
they got
happening.
engaged. Hasn't been
That
confirmed
won't
yet,
make
has
the
it?
top
It's a
four
rumour.
now.
Wait,
So-
I've missed
Showed
something.
his
What
ring on
happened?
a finger. It was all over
They should
Instagram,
do.
unless they were doing it sarcastically. But fairly sure
Oh, no,
they're
but-
engaged.
Who would have
I
thought
don't
two of
try
the
and
most
keep up in
popular
much pop
sports,
culture, but
two of the most popular sports people in Australia craving attention? Who would have thought? All right, Jeremy, give me more than one word. Who's your favourite to win the comp and why? So I had to elaborate.
Well, that's
I
right.
think it will be the Melbourne Storms.
Storms.
And why?
Because I just think they've been putting it together a hell of a lot longer. Like the Penrith was so good, and seeing them live and systematically, you can just see why they are beating teams and how the next man up mentality happens. But Melbourne are always there. They're always thereabouts, and they are just getting better and better every game. I think this is going to be a really great test for the Dolphins, who will lead into our next point, who have been flying under the radar. But I love watching Melbourne play at the moment, and I'm so happy for Grant Anderson, a local boy, getting starting positions quite regularly, if not coming on and plugging some holes and doing a bloody good job. So that's why I'm going with the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, lovely. I'm the
Storms.
same. I've got Melbourne. I think the thing about Melbourne this year as well is the majority of their games have been tough games, haven't been blowouts. So found himself in that arm wrestle for so many games. And I guess with Penrith, like they've obviously had a bit go against them this year with Cleary being out and stuff, but a few injuries here and there. To consistently get themselves up in finals time once again every week and just have that dream run once again into a grand final. Obviously, they fought back last year when things weren't going their way, but to win 4 in a row will be very hard. And I guess when Penrith win, they win comfortably, as Melbourne just seem to be doing it tough and doing it right, backing their systems. And as much as I hate to say it, I see Melbourne winning the comp this year, potentially playing Penrith in that grand final. Jez touched on it before. The Dolphins sitting in fourth, obviously knocked off Cronulla there. Well, they come back. So Cronulla come back, but the Dolphins absolutely killed Cronulla early on. Flexed a bit of muscle there, but no one seems to be talking about them a chance. They're sitting in fourth. I'll go through some of their wins first of all. They've obviously beat the Sharks. They beat the Tigers. They beat Manly. They beat the Cowboys. They've beaten Parramatta. They've beaten the Tigers again. They've beaten the Titans. They've beaten St. George. So when you look at it, they haven't really beat any of the top teams. Ridiculous stat, obviously, that was only their third game in Sydney, obviously, since they come in the comp. So, obviously being looked after a little bit there by the NRL. Now,
Yeah.
I'll run you through what they've got. They've got Melbourne this week, obviously Origin affected, but Melbourne. They play St. George, South Sydney, Penrith, the Gold Coast, the Roosters, the Warriors, the Dogs, Melbourne again, Brisbane and Newcastle. So I think looking at that run, they play finals football because it's an easy as shit draw. But they've still got 2 games against Melbourne, a Canterbury team, a Warriors team that could be on a run, a Roosters team, Penrith and South Sydney. So I think they've got the points early on there. I think they play finals football no matter what. But realistically, are they a chance of winning the comp, Michael?
Geez, it's almost like the NRL wanted them to play finals with that draw, isn't it?
No, it's a fair draw for everyone. What are you talking about?
God.
Get your tinfoil hats out.
Yeah. Look, they definitely play finals football now because they just keep doing the simple things right. Do I think they're a genuine chance at winning the comp? Probably not. I think they're still behind the Roosters, Penrith, and Melbourne. Katoa has really, I know early on I said, no, Dolphins haven't got any halves. I think Katoa's really stepped up. He shows a calmness that's well beyond his age. Nicorima's found form as well, but he's always been up and down. So history would say he'll probably have a few bad games coming up. He's always been a bit rocks and diamonds. Probably depends on the Hammers form. I mean, if they get a home final, they'll be hard to beat. Bennett will have them wound up. I just don't think they can go all the way. So, yeah.
Jeremy?
Just going on that, like when we were listing players from the Dolphins, I think someone who deserves a lot of praise for their current run of form is Jeremy Marshall-King out of dummy half. I think he's been instrumental in a couple of their wins. His service from dummy half, his defense especially. And did he just re-sign? Did he just re-sign on a big one? Because there was rumors that he might follow Wayne Bennett with all the things happening out there in South Sydney. So for him to stay at the Dolphins, I think shows that they've got some things systematically happening and they're in it for the long run. So, yeah, the draw. Look, they've got points on the board early. Do I think they're going to be like they? Are we saying minor or major? Like, are we going to say are they winning the comp?
Do you think they're a threat, a genuine threat? Because they're in the top 4. Now, you realistically always say any team in the top 4 can win the comp.
Yeah, and they've been at the pointy end of the ladder for all the season as well. Like they have flown under the radar. I forget every single time when the Dolphins play that they're a genuine footy team and that they win games and they're exciting to watch. So do I think they're going to win the comp? Maybe not this year, but geez, they're bloody close if they keep these things going. They're definitely playing finals footy, and I'm actually going to say I'm going to lock them in for a top 4.
I'm the same as you. I keep forgetting how genuine they are playing. I keep forgetting to tip them. And keep putting against me in my multi, and they're screwing me every single week.
Don't even talk about tips. About tips.
Oh, shocking.
Jesse, your thoughts on the Dolphins?
Man, I like the Dolphins. I think they're a great side. Like they've got really good players that can perform really well together as a unit. And I just think, look at Mickey with his fins up. It's all like I don't know. It's just the Bennett factor. They just seem to step up when they need to, and like I don't think their draw is just, you fucking stop dabbing. Good God. I don't think their draw is that easy. You know what I mean? Like you mentioned, it's a dream run. I think they've had their dream run already up until about now. And I think their draw kind of does get a bit trickier for them, which will be a bit of a test to see if they can actually keep themselves in that position. But I reckon if they can, they are a top 4 side this year. Just because I don't see the Storm right now really, not the Storm, sorry, the Sharks really pushing them. So I don't think they'll win the comp.
They're still completely gone off. I don't know what they're doing. They're having some kind of weird pins off.
They're just doing their own thing. Yeah, I'm just rambling to myself.
Just keep talking, Jesse.
I don't think they'll win the comp. Not now, maybe not, next year, but I think it's coming. I think that they've got enough going on there. And it just takes a bit of time too. Like the systems that Melbourne, Penrith, the Roosters, these guys have in place isn't something that started over 2 years. Like this club's 2 years old. Not even really at this point. So they've got everything going the right direction to get in the same track as these other big clubs. And I can definitely see them winning a comp in the next, I don't know, maybe 5 years might be ambitious, but maybe not. You know what I mean? Like they've got it all going on for them.
Could all change without Bennett.
Yeah, I think losing Bennett's a big thing. So I think I think they've been lucky with the draw. I think they finished 5th to 8th. I don't think they finished top 4. So I think they'll play finals football. A home semi, obviously at Suncorp. We could end up with a huge one. We could end up with the Dolphins versus Brisbane week 1 at Suncorp Stadium, which would be massive. Wayne Bennett's obviously going to get them up for that big time. But if that happens, we'll wait and see. But I just don't have them as competition threats at the moment. I guess consistency is a big thing at the moment, as we touched on earlier. And I guess it's kind of Melbourne and Penrith and everyone else at the moment. The Roosters have the ability to get there, but I just don't have the Dolphins in it. We're going to play a game. It's not the usual game. We're not trivia. I thought about this one. I started off another podcast. I'm not going to lie, and I made it rugby league related. Now, Jeremy, your team's currently sitting in 13th.
13th. Forever
Jesse,
13th.
Your team's sitting in 5th or 6th or something like that. Now, Michael, your team's sitting 15th. Not my team, your team. I'm a Sydney Swans member now. I hate rugby league. So you're going to have the choice. Michael, I've already got these ordered. Do you want to go first, or do you want to pass it on to either Jeremy or Jesse?
Nah, I'll go first. Let's go.
You stupid motherfucker. All right, I've just got to get the timer ready. So everyone knows how categories and alpha bucks works. So So you got a letter. I'm going to
Ah,
ask you a question.
shit.
I'm going to ask you a question. I've just got to get my timer ready because I do have to. Unless Matt, you're in the background. Can you time this in case someone gets 5 from 5 and we'll go the quickest time? I don't know if you can give us a little. I don't know what you can give us.
So
to be
what have I
honest.
got to do?
Oh, there he
what
is.
have I
There he
gotta
is.
do?
Yep. All right.
That was
so
him
I'm going
acknowledging.
to ask you 5 questions. I'll give you a
Yeah.
letter now. Your letter is C.
And I've got to answer
Okay.
them with things that start with C.
Yep. Now,
That's
when we
very
go to
fitting
names,
for Michael.
when we know, yeah, Hunting's a massive C. When we go to names, I'll allow first and last names, because one of them is names. I'm just going to say that. And if we go to teams, for example, it can be either the city or the obviously the emblem in a way, or the mascot, whatever you want to call it. E.g., Parramatta Eels. It could be P or E. Yep. Okay. So it's C. All right. Are you ready? The timer starts when I ask the first question, Matt. Ready? A
Yeah.
team,
Canberra,
a stadium,
Combank,
something you may be penalised for.
Crusher,
You can. A match official,
Chechen. Does it still count?
a player.
Chance Nickel Clockstead.
Stop. This chance.
You fucking
Yep.
dragged that out then,
Fuck,
didn't
fuck.
you?
I'm going to ask
Oh,
everyone's
whoa,
question the
whoa.
same.
Bloody hell, that's impressive.
5 from
I did
5.
way
That was
better than I
good.
thought I would.
That's very good. That's
Yeah.
very good.
All right.
That's
Combank.
insane.
So-
Combank Stadium got me. That was the one. I had a blank when it came
Well,
to
there's
the
actually a
stadium.
couple.
Right.
Because obviously we see you got Canberra Cowboys, but actually
Seabus.
Country Bank, Combank, Seabus, there's heaps. So 20 seconds. I don't know if that's Matt commenting or I don't know if that's Joel commenting.
Is
I
that
don't know if
official?
Matt's commenting. But you got
Oh,
5 from
man,
5,
I'm
so it
a
doesn't
fucker.
matter. If no one else
Well
gets
done.
5 from now, Jeremy, you're the next lowest ranked
Right.
team. Are you going to pass or play?
No, I'm going to play. I'm going to play. This is fun.
You can pass, and I'll come back to you. All right.
Nah, play.
Your letter is P.
P for
Right.
Perry. P for penis.
P for penis. Yep.
That's the
Now,
one.
I forgot to say with stadiums, I'm okay with locations, not names as well. Because obviously Michael could have said Canberra Stadium, even though it's actually GIO, I would have allowed it. All right. So P. All right. A team,
Penrith.
a stadium,
Penrith Stadium.
something you may be penalised for.
Or with P, pulling of the hair.
I'll allow it. A match official,
Henry Perinara.
a player,
Paul Marquette.
Ponga.
Yep, stop. He could have said
Oh, I
so
went with Old
many.
Knights.
Old Knights. Yep. All right. So he's got 5 as well. I think his time was a lot slower than Michael's.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you could have said Penrith, obviously, points bet. Something you may be penalised for. You could have said punching or pushing. There was so
Oh,
many.
yeah,
fucking
obviously.
matches.
Oh, it was hair pulling.
Pulling hair. Just punch him in the
Match
head.
official, Perinara, Peter Goff. There were so many. And the player, well,
Yep.
you went with something very out there, but yep. All right. Final one is Jesse.
Hey, Paul Marquette.
Jesse,
What a legend.
Okay.
you got to beat 20 seconds and get 5 from 5. Your
What
letter
was
is
my time?
S. Past Michael's. That's all that matters.
I blame the
I'm
host.
All right.
sure it's probably not happening. Go on.
Your letter is S. All right, ready? A team,
Sharks.
stadium,
Shark Park.
something you may be penalised for.
Spitting.
A referee. Oh, match official. You can pass.
I'm
I'll
passing.
come back to it. A player,
Sam Walker.
a match official,
Belinda Sharp. Sean
Lynn Sharp. I don't know the
Sean
officials. I'm going to be completely
Todd-
honest with you.
Todd Smith. Yeah.
Sharp.
There's a few.
Done.
All right. Well, Michael wins. 5 from
Good job.
5, and
Congratulations.
quickest time. There you go. See, we can have fun. How much more fun we're having
Yeah,
with
it's
our
good.
Joel here. This is great.
Oh,
This is
Good
great.
job.
I bet it's not this fun at Fox Studios.
No, I bet it's not. So I bet he's getting coffee for Matty Johns or something right now. Anyway,
Pour
all
one
right,
out for our
following on.
mascots.
Hardo Nimex.
back on topic, away from that game. Jeremy's topic, wooden spoon. Now, I think it's a 4-horse race, to be honest. I'll go through the bottom 5 teams that we've just said South Sydney could go on a run. Well, I have. You've got 13th, you've got Newcastle, 14th, South Sydney, Parramatta 15th, Tigers 16th, and Gold Coast 17th. Now, obviously on the weekend, the Tigers beat the Gold Coast, putting the Gold Coast to the bottom. I don't think Parramatta and Newcastle are playing as bad at football as those bottom 2 teams. It's as simple as that. The ladder's back up, as we can see. I think, both Newcastle and Parramatta in the last couple of weeks, if they're playing lower ranked teams, they probably would come away with 2 wins. The football they've played. Obviously, Parramatta couldn't close the game out. Newcastle thought were quite good in both games after being disgraceful against the Dogs. So I'm ruling both of them out, even though I'd love the Knights to fall in a shit heap and go to the bottom. I'm saying I think the Titans will get the spoon. Something special is brewing up there. They haven't had a lot of luck with injuries. Obviously, with Foran obviously struggling a bit there, but I think the Tigers got that little bit of spark in their team when they put it together. A few individual players with Appy as well. I think it comes down to those 2. I'm saying the Gold Coast. So go to you first, Jesse. You wooden spoon team for this year.
I'm going to go Tigers, man. They've been
3 in a row.
Yeah, big time. It'll be 4 next year too.
Hey, been there, done that.
Yeah, they're specialists at losing. So I just can't see any way they climb up. Obviously they've got half a side out at the moment with the injuries they've got, and their team looks unrecognizable as far as the Tigers outfit, but they're just not very good in general. They've had 2 buys. They've gotten 4 points out of it. Without them, they're dead, below dead last. They got more points from the buys than almost wins this year. You know what I mean? It's just not ideal at this point of the season to be where they are. So I've got them locked up. I think the Titans will jump them, but it shouldn't be too hard.
Michael?
Yeah, last time we talked about it, we'd sort of started off on Titans, given to their start of the year, but I think we're all starting to turn towards the Tigers. I'm still on the Tigers. I think the Titans have got a better coach. I think they've got a bit more in their roster. And I just think the Tigers will run out of steam again. They might get a bit of momentum after the last win, but I just don't think it'll last, even if it does happen. And they're just in that rut of losing. I hate to see them lose. I love to see the Tigers go well. I love a full Leichhardt. I think the Tigers need to go well for the NRL to go well. I just think that's where it'll end up.
Yeah,
and you're right about the Knights. And yes, next year they'll get another one because that's not going to work.
He's coming to save them. They're like the savior. All right, don't worry, that's happening. Jeremy?
Well, it's just going to be echoing much of what's already been said, but I think with the fact that the Tigers have had their 2 buys, and that's where majority of their points have come from, and the amount of injuries that they have, but just the style of footy that they play as well, I just think it's so, I don't know, they find a way to lose games. And when you get into that sort of habit of finding ways to lose games, like still being in the battle, but then just dropping off, you're going to do well to lock up the spoon. So I agree with the Titans. They probably have a better system, better roster, and a better coach. I don't want to write the Tigers off completely and say they're going to get 4 in a row, but I don't know where they turn it around. I don't know where this sort of funk they can slip out of. And, I'd like to think Luai is the saviour because he's been playing some really good footy, but he's going to have to go and do it in a really poor team, in a really poor system that has not been set up years in advance. So, yeah, look, I think it's a 2-horse race between these 2, and I think it's the Tigers.
I guess the biggest thing with that as well is, look at the Bulldogs. Obviously, they've brought across a lot of Penrith players, but it's taken a while to obviously adjust to that. And they're not playing that Penrith style of football they were at Penrith. They've had to learn. I think that's why Crichton was so oppressive in Origin. He's not playing Penrith football anymore. He's playing a different style that suits him better. And obviously, Bulldogs are back their defence. And Tigers got some good young kids coming through, but they've also got some aging forwards and some players that want to get the fuck out of there as well. Like Galvin wants out, Stefan wants out. Some of their good young players coming through, and some of their most consistent players want out of the club. So I think it's a long way back. We'll follow an extra question because he's already under pressure, and it's one of those old sayings that you don't want your heroes of your club to coach. There's obviously rumours going around that Luke Burt was going to be at Parramatta, and that was a good idea and stuff. Well, Benji's got the job at the Tigers. It's as simple as that. And Joel put the thing up the other day: is it ruining his legacy? If they get a spoon, which makes it 3 spoons in a row. Now, Benji was obviously involved with this team for the last year as well. It's not like he's a new coach that's coming to change things. He was involved as an assistant. Jeremy, is Benji gone at the end of the year?
No, I think he gets a full season. Like I think he gets another go, purely because of him being a club great, a premiership winner at the club. Yes, he was involved last year and is involved this year in some pretty heavy seasons. But no, I don't think he's gone next year. I think he's gone the year after. But I hope that people don't remember Benji as the failed coach. They remember him for his glorious flick passes and his runs down the blind side. And, Benji at full flight is what we want to remember. Everyone's already forgotten that he played rugby, so maybe we can forget that he was a coach as well.
I guess the biggest thing with that is, I'll touch on the Luke Burt one again. And I got told the reason that Luke Burt didn't go to Parramatta or didn't apply for Parramatta was because he didn't want the pressure of it being an ex-player. And same thing, he didn't want everyone to remember him for what he did as a coach, not as a player. So Luke Burt has aspirations of coaching the NRL. He'd love to be at Parramatta one day, but he wants to start somewhere else. And you're right, like people obviously only think about the past, especially kids coming through and younger people and stuff, and the game's changed so much. But I think Benji's legacy is ruined a little bit. Your thoughts on it, Michael?
Yeah, I think his coaching career is over before it's done. I thought it was a massive gamble to start with. I don't think it'll change what people remember him for. Like, people are going to go, he had a go. He tried to save the club that he loves, which is a lot more than some other Tigers players have done and some other legends of other clubs that are in trouble. He gave it a good, solid crack. But some players don't make coaches. I haven't seen anything that's made me think Benji's going to get there either. He'll get next year because he was pushing very hard for Luai. I can't see them getting rid of him before he gets that chance. But yeah, I think if he has another dismal year next year, then that'll be his 3rd year that he's been in charge, and they'll sort of go, well, this ain't working out. I actually think Brad Arthur would go good there because he would at least be able to help turn him around like he did at Parramatta.
I'm pretty sure Brad's going to Leeds in the Super League.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh,
They're
did you say?
unhappy. He's going to the Super League. Let's see if he can take Sean Lane with him.
He said it.
He said it. He said, say the line, Adam. Say the line.
If he went over there and he got an offer to come back, he'd come back in a heartbeat.
100% they all would. But I guess one of the biggest things I've realised, and I'll get to you soon, Jesse, is out of this whole BA sacking is the amount of, like, we talked about there being no coaches around and no good coaches, but Parramatta have had to make a really tough decision with some of the people that have come in and interviewed well. Like, obviously, Riles or Hene gets the Parramatta job. You've got Brian McDermott with a lot of experience coaching the Super League in England. You've got Michael Checker. You've got Jason Taylor floating around. There's so many good coaches around. So I guess if the Tigers do want to move on Benji, I think they're going to show him the respect of obviously early next year. But, there's other coaches under pressure. Obviously, Todd Payton will come under pressure. It's as simple as that. Like, I don't think Des is under pressure yet, but if they don't perform next year as well, Adam O'Brien as well, like he can only live off what Newcastle did for so long if they finish in the bottom 4. He was under pressure before Newcastle went on that run. So there's so many coaches ready to step into other roles, and the Tigers, they don't want to be scraping the barrel with what's left. What's your thoughts, Jesse?
I think he will get next year. And like realistically, he was working under Tim Sheens last year for, a stint of it. And I think anyone else in the position that he's in this year would be in the exact same position the Tigers are on the ladder. I don't think anyone else would have made any change drastically enough that the Tigers sort of turn form. But obviously, it's the hardest possible job in the league is to try and get the Tigers off the bottom of the table for the most inexperienced coach in the league. Like, it's just set up for failure straight off the jump. So,
yeah, but he doesn't show up to training before 6 a.m.
And he goes to PG.
Coach, apparently. There you go. So,
unbelievable. They were never going to get out of the rut.
Needs someone to crack the whip. That's what it is.
Oh.
It's too. He wants to be with a part of the boys. So,
They
You know
did.
what? There was
that
there
didn't
was
work.
very few signs at the very, very beginning of the season where you thought maybe the Tigers can actually turn this around. And I think if they do retain some of these young guns like Galvin and Kamanu and all these other players they've got that do want to leave, when they get the players they're getting next season, you've got to give them the chance for it. But I just don't think there's too much more there. And it's like, depending on how many coaches become available, you know, if the Tigers board's looking at it going, do we just keep sticking it out with Benji for his legacy? Or do we try and get off the bottom of the ladder? I think they will have to take that option. They can't just keep getting spoons every year and collecting them all.
They can't.
So, yeah,
You
you've just
touched
got
on at
to.
the start. They were 6 from 8 at the start of the year, as if in 2 from 3 wins and a bye. So things are flying. Bench would have been thinking, how easy is this? I guess the interesting one, as you said, they need someone strong. And I guess Michael's shout of BA is huge as well, because he turned around BA and he got Parramatta through that spoon time in 2012 and 2013 when he come in, got him through that salary cap stuff, and he's frozen. That's how excited he is. So there actually is a big chance that BA could come in and do that if the option's there for that kind of coach, if someone's ready to recycle straight away.
Well, you get someone in like
Michael.
Wayne Bennett who'll just come in and just clear out the roster. See you later. See you later. See you later.
Leave the place in worse state than you came in.
I don't really think they need much of a clean out. I know that seems weird to say. They've got some good talent coming through. I think it's an attitude and a culture problem at the Tigers. They're used to losing. They don't know how to win.
They're in the habit of losing. You're right. Yep. In the habit of losing.
And they didn't even know their team song when they won a game. That's how much they
did the
lose.
Knights until Adam reminded them after that Bulldogs win. They went on 10 in a row. That was still the funniest thing I ever heard. As the players are running off, he's going, now remember, it starts with we win, we win, we win.
Do we?
Peter Park thought it was great. Jackson Hastings, not so much. Tyson Gamble, definitely not. Anyway, let's move on from the Tigers, because, look, there's one case that's making my team look better. It's the Tigers, and that's saying something. So, all right, obviously Origin affected around this weekend. So I sometimes find it, unmotivating with these games, just because there's not the usual amount of games. At least it's not 4 games. We've got 5 games on this weekend. No Thursday night game, but under 19s Origins on Thursday night. So tune in and watch that one. How's your you had a background, man, Jesse? How's your game? I'll start with you, Jesse, because you're talking anyway, and you've got your background man there. So we'll find out what his game of the week is this week as well.
He couldn't tell you. He wouldn't even know if I showed him the team list. My game of the round this week is unsurprisingly, Roosters versus Bulldogs. I think it's probably the only exciting game, and I just want a bit of redemption after the last Roosters Bulldogs shit show, where Dom Young got sent, everyone got concussed, it pissed down, we lost. It was a horrible, horrible outing. So I'm hoping for a better show. Very keen for it.
Sure. Jeremy?
Dolphin Storm for mine. I'm excited to see Ryan Pappenhausen. I know no hammer for the Dolphins, but it'd be interesting to see how they go up against a Storm side that do have a couple out, but not also too many. So in terms of teams that are affected by Origin, these two aren't too bad. So yeah, I'm excited for this.
Michael with the team list up in front of him and the team games. That shows how excited he is for the weekend.
I was like, shit, I had to look at the games. Yeah, what Jez just said about Dolphin Storm's pretty spot on, but I reckon the Roosters Seagulls game could be a good game too, because Seagulls got no DCE. Rabbitohs have got no Latrell.
Wait.
Yeah, you said Roosters Seagulls, yeah.
Huh?
Well, they're not playing each other.
Man, I think I said
Jesse's
half Rabbitohs, half Roosters. I was like,
Jesse is about to jump across and belt the crap out of you for calling his team. See how Sydney getting him confused. He's coming.
I think I said Roboosters. It was like a half and half.
That was his hitman in the background. He is coming for you.
He's coming.
Yeah, I think that could
Lock
be
your
a
doors.
good game.
The Roboosters.
Yeah, the Roboosters and the Sea Eagles.
Skig Eagles.
It's like the Dolphins that I had at the start of the year.
Yeah, and the Dargons. Look, I can't go by the blockbuster. I'm really looking forward to some Sunday afternoon footy. Tigers kept right now. I'm joking. I can't separate the ones you just said. The Roosters Bulldogs could be a cracking game as well. I guess we get to see what the Dolphins are made of, but I really want to see where the Bulldogs are at. I thought the Roosters were actually pretty ordinary against Parramatta. They dropped a lot of ball. They kept coming to their left edge and could not get it right. I've still, at the start of the year, I had the Roosters up there to win the comp. I had them just finishing outside the top 4, finishing 5th. and actually winning the comp. So I guess it's the time the Roosters need to actually consistently put it together. So I've got Roosters Bulldogs, which is actually at the Central Coast this weekend. So some Central Coast footy. All right, final thing to talk about. Obviously, we're not on next Wednesday night because of State of Origin. So you won't be able to catch us.
Oh,
No,
we're doing the post-origin game thing again?
yeah, I
probably.
don't know, are we?
Yeah.
If I can
Yeah.
get if I can get my kid to bed, if he falls asleep on the lounge watching the footy, yes, I will.
It'd be like 10 o'clock. He
Um,
should be in bed. Don't be a bad
I mean,
parent.
The kid literally watches the whole game, refuses to go to bed. Anyway, I'm only getting for one Origin game this year. So I've got his Blues jammies ready to go and his blue shirt for daycare that day. So we're ready to go.
Sounds like Beck's problem to me.
Yeah, she'll be in bed by 9 o'clock. She won't watch the whole footy. She'll be gone. So she's on the Swans bandwagon me anyway. Go to Swans. So look, Origin predictions. Obviously, a few changes there. Mitchell Moses coming as we know about. We don't have to go too much in it because I think Joe will do a full preview of the Origin. I just want everyone's predictions. I want a scoreline, a first try scorer, and a man of the match. I'm going to throw to you first. Who looks the most confused? Jeremy.
Well, I got first try scorer in the first game, so I'm on form here.
Can you make sure you actually put a bet on it this week if you want me to do it for you? And transfer
I'm not a
$10
betting
or
man. I
more?
just put it out there for the general public. I'm liking the changes in the Blues team. It makes me excited. It makes me excited being a Blues fan, seeing these wonderful people in there without Blues jerseys on. So if you click on the profiles, it's them in their club shirts, which is always funny to see.
The new one.
First try scorer, I'm going to go with Dylan Edwards. Dylan Edwards, first try scorer. Are we doing margins and all this kind of stuff as well? So
Pick
who to
it.
win?
Pick and a score.
Yep, excellent. Well, obviously, I want a decider, so I'm going to go the Blues. And I genuinely think if we keep all the players on the field, we might give it a red-hot crack. The margin will be 2. So it's going to be 6-4. And it's going to come down to a missed conversion. Unlucky
Another
Queensland
one.
from the sideline. 6-4.
Far out.
If there better be 10 fights and 16
Yeah, that'll
singles
be
in
a
that game to make it
shit
interesting.
game.
Because I was at that
It's all about the
6-4
battle.
Origin decider in 2014, and it was actually boring as batshit until it actually finally scored. Jesse?
Yeah, but it's Melbourne, so they deserve a boring game.
Oh, did you didn't give us a man of the match, Jeremy? Sorry.
Man of the match will be... let me just have a look here. Ashley
Sorry, I mean
Klein.
player of
I
the
think
player
he,
of the match, of course.
Connor Watson coming off the bench, Mr. Fix-It. Watch him plug as many holes as he needs to. It doesn't mind
Coming off
receiving
the
a few
bench.
as well. So Connor Watson.
Yep, no glory holes in the field. Jesse.
I'm just going to take a pun here. I'm going to say first try scorer. We'll go with Zach Lomax. I'm going to hit there. Mitch Moses. I reckon they link up for that one. That'll be nice to see.
That'll turn me on.
Big time.
That will
Are we?
Pong me.
Oh, fuck. Did you say margin or the scoreline?
Score one.
Margin. Score. 28-14. 12. 28-12. We'll go 28-12. I like 28-12. Blues get up though. Surely. Fucking surely. I can't do another loss. Make me cry. Man of the match. Yeah, I'm gonna go Dylan Edwards.
Nice.
Michael.
If Queensland do win and they win the series on Wednesday night, we're all going to be like Andrew Johns was on that broadcast after Queensland won it last year and just be heaps salty. Oh, no, I have to bloody listen to it again. Or bloody
Yeah.
Queensland. Fuck it.
I'm crumpy. I'm a cranky.
So what are you doing? First try scorer.
Well, if you fucking
I'm
listened to
gonna
everyone
go-
else, you would have known. First try scorer,
Yeah, I'm just
score
you
line,
know.
player of the match.
Right, I'll go Crichton first try scorer because I reckon we'll give him the old Kansas City shuffle. They're
Which
going to
one?
be looking at.
Who would-
They're going to look at. Stephen Crichton. They're going to be looking at Latrell. We're going to make him go right. We're going to go left. So we'll go to Crichton or left and right, whichever fucking side he's on. Who's going to win? So Queensland are going to win. So I'm going to go the score of
With that edge.
20.
Boo.
Yeah. Oh, look,
Boo
New South
earns.
Wales have got a much better. I think the team's much better rounded this time round, but I just think Queensland will just get it done still. For New South Wales to win, I think both Mitchell Moses and Latrell would have to have the games of their careers. So I guess we'll see. So Queensland, I'll go
Big team or a
28.
chance?
Yeah, 28-10. No. 28-8. No. I don't know. 28-16. Did someone already say that?
I said 28-12.
I'll go 28-16.
I said
28 to
6-4.
16. Yeah.
I did.
What else? Player of the match. Everyone's going to say Reece Walsh. I might go Harry Grant. I reckon Harry Grant's going to have a blinder.
Mm.
Is that
And
everything?
who's going to look best in the post-game showers?
Connor Watson.
You didn't even think then. That was just bam.
Oh,
Ready to
quick
go.
fire. I did. Locked and loaded.
Anyway,
like
moving on. This is the bloke that said before, I'm like him
I'm
as a
not
porter.
Connor
I don't like the other stuff he did. Yeah, but there's a bloke floating around in the background, so I'm starting to question it.
Hold on.
Right, my look. I said Queensland 3-0 at the start, but after watching that women's Origin game 2 in Newcastle and seeing how badly the NRL wanted a decider, because they did after obviously not having a decider in that game last year. I think they do the same. I think a lot will go New South Wales' way, especially after obviously we can call it controversy of the send-off. I think New South Wales somehow come away with a win. I think maybe my heart wants to believe that. So I'm saying New South Wales 26-18. My first try scorer. I'm trying to work out what second row is going to be on Lomax's wing because I think the cross-field bomb, they'll try. Moses obviously the big kicking game, the Hinds, and he'll tap it in. So I'm hoping it's going to be Liam Martin. So I'm going to say, well, no, it won't be. Yeah, it will be.
In
It'll be
doubt
Liam.
still.
Oh, I'm going to
Should
go
be.
Liam Martin. If a second
Yeah,
rower comes in,
apparently-
I'm taking the second row. That's him. And my player of the match, I'm going to say Dylan Edwards. I think Dylan Edwards will justify Zesco dropping, obviously. Come out and have a big game. That's it. Let's see if we've got any questions. Get your questions in, any fun ones. Joel, give us something. Contribute something to the show tonight. Give us a fun question. We'll patiently wait with the whole music. Go on, you got
Jeez,
something
I
to say,
reckon-
don't you?
You've given him a lesson in how to run a show. That's 55 minutes. Joel always goes over time. Boom.
Yeah, well, I know. Wednesday night, sex night. So, no, joking. I just had to put that out there.
It's hump day. Happy
Hey.
hump day.
Very nice.
So, yeah. Any questions, Matt? You've been in the background. I forgot you were even there. Has anything caught your attention you want to bring up? Like it was said throughout the time. We've got about 6 minutes. Who was more drunk on Saturday, Mika or Troy? Well, Troy, I don't know. Look, guys, if you haven't seen it, I've shared it on the Talking Para page, or you can go to Para Cave Podcast and have a look. Mate, Troy is copping an absolute shellacking on the Talking Para page, and I've shared it. There's some very hurtful comments there. People want to know if he had a stroke. I don't know what he had, but I'm glad that Facebook actually has subtitles now because I needed it to literally, understand what he was saying. It was that bad.
I couldn't even speak to do that. I couldn't even do a live cross. I don't remember most of the bus trip home, eh? I don't remember stopping at the twin servos. Yeah.
There's a good one.
Why does this keep coming up on my podcast? It keeps coming up on the Para one as well.
Oh,
It can't happen.
I
It's
meant
as
more the
simple as this.
second part. The second part's a good
well,
thing.
let's touch on the first one. Lomax can't back out of the deal. If he backs out the deal, unless Parramatta agree to it, he won't be playing football next year. And let's just remember the Dragons want to move him on for the money he was on. We're talking 850,000. Parramatta paying him 550, 600 around that mark.
600.
Yeah, so
Huge.
like that's a big difference. And if the Dragons can't justify spending that, is he going to want to stay at the Dragons the same amount of money? He wanted out for a reason. On the Damien Cook one, I don't know if you guys realize, but Damien Cook's actually a beach sprinter. Now, in Wollongong, obviously where they train, there's a lot more beaches than there is in Redfern, even in Homebush. So I think it'll be good for him because they're right on the beach. So they do training on the beach. So his speed is going to go to an excellent level next year. And he'll show that beach spring speed out of dummy half. But really, I don't get it, the Dragons. It's where he started. I know he spent a lot. He's a junior before he obviously went to the Bulldogs, then South Sydney. But obviously the back end of his career, maybe some maturity. I'm not sure. I know that's where he's from. He was champion beach winner down there, in case you didn't know. Are you worried
He's a
about
good pick
Latrell
for
going
him.
missing
Had no idea.
without the ball? Now, Michael, you're a big fan of Latrell, obviously coming into Origin and being an Origin player. Do you have any fears about him going missing in Origin?
No, I think his best footy he's played is at centre. I think he's a centre. I think it's good to see him centres. It's going to be up to the halves to get him good early ball. I like him at centre because it's more of an explosive position. He can be in and out of a game a little bit more than you can at fullback. So I think when he needs to be in the game, he'll be in the game as long as our halves get him the ball.
I love that. And I love that response because you said centre 5 times really quickly.
Do it. I rate myself. I'm getting,
Had to get
I'm
it
getting
in there.
better.
Had to get it in there.
I can do videos now. I think that was your second most successful video. It's actually gone up on the page, that Payne and Hammer comparison. So you're welcome, Joel. What can I say? As a great Dwayne Johnson would say, what can I say except you're welcome? I do like Jacob Little. Yeah, Moana.
Oh my
I'm
god.
glad we all got that. Jacob
Oh,
Little, he come from the Tigers. I don't know. He might go to the Super League. Do you reckon he's going to go Super? I reckon Cookie could have gone the Super League almost, to be honest, but not enough beaches over
Beaches
there.
over-
for him, so
Beaches over there are shit,
Yeah.
all stone.
And they're
fucking
pebble
shit.
beaches.
on a
so
stone. Yeah,
you
no,
wouldn't be able to
it
run
wouldn't work.
on that. Yeah.
Hang on, wouldn't it be easy to run on a pebble beach than a sandy beach?
No,
But he's a
surely
sand
it's
beach
loose ground.
champion. So, no.
I know, but
It's not a pebble
yeah,
beach, bro.
I wouldn't know. I can't run on anything. I'm fucking useless. So, who's our coach next year? Well, it's a 2-horse race. I don't know, Paul. I'm guessing you're a Parramatta
Adam
supporter.
O'Brien, he's already signed. So,
Yeah, Brian Smith's come back. No, it's down a 2-horse race, Royals or Hene. We discussed that on Talking Para last night. Go get your thoughts. We spent about 10 minutes on it. 6 Parramatta
Have we
fans,
got
or
any-
5.5.
Have we got any not
Thanks,
football
Joel.
questions?
here we go. Here we
Yep.
go.
Oh, well, yep. I'm going to fire straight away.
Can I go first?
I'm
No.
all right, go. Yeah.
The Pink Power Ranger, Kimberly. Growing up watching Power Rangers, it was her all day long. Oh my goodness. Pink Power Ranger.
She still got it too.
Amy
Yeah.
Jo
I'm
Johnson
gonna-
is her name. Didn't even have to Google it.
I'm going to go. Mine's pretty specific, and I guess it's not really as a childhood. It's more as a teenager. I
Can't
just
be
look
your
how
mum.
things worked, and they did work. No, it was actually yours, but no, it's actually Megan Fox, but it's not actually Megan Fox. It's only Megan Fox as Michaela from
Transformers 1.
In the first
Transformers.
Transformers
Yeah.
movie.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
no,
there.
with the bonnet up. Yeah.
The second one where she's bending over the bike. Like I put that back on every second Wednesday night when I'm not in the podcast just to get me in the mood that that Megan Fox Michaela thing. So I can't be
On
Megan
his old
Fox. it's gotta be
VHS
Michaela.
tape, it used to go a bit funny because that's where he kept pausing it.
100%. Jesse, I'll go to you next because yours will be a lot younger because Michael's older than everyone. Everyone will remember it.
Yeah, true. You know what? If we're talking childhood crushes, I can recall being about 13, prime age of my life. It's going to sound weird now.
Discovered Thomas the Tank.
Holy shit. It was Elizabeth Swan from Pirates of the Caribbean, Keira Knightley.
So Keira Knightley.
Oh, she fucking does everything for me, eh? Still a weapon.
Still does it.
Still
Michael?
does it.
Still a weapon.
I can't remember. It was so fucking long ago. The
I
Pink
can actually
Ranger
remember
was up
yours. I can remember yours as well.
there. Who?
Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, surely.
Nah.
You were hot on her. He was hot on her.
Angelina Jolie.
Nah.
Liz
that was
Hurley.
fucking
No.
way later.
I'm talking about the game, not the movie.
You
Oh.
idiot.
With the pointy titties from PlayStation
Yeah,
1.
3D boobies.
often Company was
Um,
always playing that scene where she had to climb the wall. I was like, what's going on in here?
Just
Why
camera
is it
scene
she's
from
not
way
playing
back.
a PlayStation?
playing Tomb Raider. Get out of my room.
Pink Ranger.
tell you one
pretty
thing.
Good.
Just
Jennifer
Can we
Love
add
Hewitt
Trish-
was up there.
Can we add
Prime
wrestlers and
Britney
Trish Stratus?
Spears.
Stacey Keebler. Oh, take me back.
Oh.
Prime Britney
Yeah.
Spears. Are you
WWE
saying, like,
divas were elite.
Oops, I did it again film clip?
back then.
Yeah. Prime
Or
Britney.
hit
back
me,
then.
baby, one more time.
I remember the greatest thing. they ever
Whichever one she
discovered.
was in the high school uniform.
We'll finish
the
with
one.
this. I remember the greatest thing I ever discovered as a young kid
Oh,
was
baby,
Yeah.
baby.
the old wrestling games. When you actually unlocked the screens and unlocked everything on the wrestling games, what it actually unlocked for you was the Divas entrance videos. That was prime viewing as a 13, 14-year-old.
Oh,
It was great.
Would have been.
It was unbelievable.
Get out of my room,
It
I'm
was
playing
great.
wrestling.
Especially when the Tour de France ruined SBS late night. That's for sure. So, all right,
Mm.
that's it.
Someone agrees.
Well,
Everyone remembers that. Yeah,
when,
we're all
um,
agreeing.
when you got up too early and it was Oz aerobics was a
Oh
good
God!
time.
Before Cheese TV,
before Cheese TV.
it's like the
That was
6
a good
a.m.
time.
special. Fuck yeah!
Do any of you remember Ranger Stacy? That was a long time ago.
No, we
You
don't.
had it.
No.
There
All
you
my
go.
time.
But Officer Jenny from Pokemon.
Oh shit!
Hello.
I'm a Nurse Joy guy, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Right, this is
can
going
get
somewhere.
Strippers from Blast City.
Well, what about
Pull up the side. Beep beep. How much, honey?
what about? Okay, before we go,
And
what
the
about
car
who's
would
your,
just like go like this?
yeah? What about who's your celebrity
Oh.
crush now? Before we go,
Celebrity crush
Ooh.
now.
Still Michaela from Transformers. Nothing's changed. I don't even know if I have one right now.
Sydney Sweeney's a bit of a honey.
Is it Maya Hawke from Stranger Things? Let me just do a quick Google.
Is she the one with the chin?
Does Jamie Chapman count? Can we count that?
Jamie Chapman.
New South Wales Blues winger.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I like
So-
AJ from Criminal Minds or Alexa Bliss.
Oh, yeah. Oh, if we're talking wrestlers, we're still going back to that wrestling thing.
I don't know.
Liv
Most of the videos I watch these days, I only go for about
Liv
30
Morgan.
seconds, so
Liv
I don't
Morgan.
really need the rest of it.
Liv Morgan does
And
it.
because we're all about equality, my man crush is Dean from Supernatural. His eyes, my
Oh,
God.
mate.
What happened to Zac
Off
Efron?
again.
You're a Zac Efron man.
He's, he's
Yeah.
off a bit now. He's off a bit
He's
now.
changed a bit, yeah.
Bit of
If
surgery.
we're going fantasy male threesome, mine's Connor Watson and Kalen Ponga. But I didn't think we were going there. So all
And on that note, we're out of here. See ya.
And we're done.
That's a good way to end it.
right. Looks like I'm going to wrap us up because I had to start as well. Thanks for joining us. As Joel would usually say, actually, Jeremy, you usually take us out. You can take us out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us this fine Wednesday evening. And if you're listening back on the podcast, thank you for doing so. The best way to share us is to like and subscribe and recommend us to a friend. So if you want some friends to come and talk footy on a Wednesday night live with us, make sure you share it and get joined in with the comments. We will be going live after this week's Origin on Wednesday. The women play on Thursday. Good luck to them in the decider. And until then, bye.
Get your pants on.
Pea suit.
No.